only be bought with real money as well.
I see.
But yeah, by playing the game, you get a second form of currency that is then used to buy stuff.
Oh.
As you play the game. Really, as you win, actually. You don't just play hands and get them. You have to kind of win in order to get them. And it's also scaled based on the amount you're risking. The more you risk, the more potentially you could gain.
I see.
In one shot.
So is it? Okay.
The most ridiculous example is in slots. If you play low stakes, you get 1. Like, not even a lot of the time.
Oh,
you have to win pretty big just to get 1. But if you play on high stakes and you get a really big hit, all of a sudden you get like, what was it, 500? In one shot? Or something like that? It was ridiculous. But that was the biggest, that was like the most insane hit. It was like jackpot tier. The more average hits are like 20, actually.
Huh.
That are big. But even if you win just a little bit, even though you're actually losing, you'll still get the 1 on high stakes. So it's kind of scaled like that. Although slots are pretty broken. Then there are games like poker and bingo, which give a fair amount. Bingo, even if you lose, you get it, because only 1 or 2 people tend to win the game anyway, and sometimes a lot of people are playing. But of course, you do have to be risking money. You can't play free bingo and get that sort of currency, unfortunately.
I see.
And that's also like roughly scaled to how much you're risking. Between 500 and 5,000.
Ooh.
5,000 I think pays off like 200 something, even if you don't win. Or like 150. I think it was 150. And poker, it's scaled on how well you do. I've only ever gotten seconds in poker that costed 5k, so. And for second, you get 300. First, I think you get like probably 600 or something. Something wild. Because you get the majority of the money when you're first, anyway. So yeah. I haven't even really like looked in the stores and like bought anything. Like clothes and outfits and objects. I never really cared.
Hey,
buy
this t-shirt.
Yeah. You still have some very basic stuff.
Well, I see.
Well, it's like whatever.
Like I'm curious. Like when you say that you run these currency, is it like a rare percent? Is it like a small chance that you can get, or is it say you gotta bet or risk it? Yeah, you gotta what's the term? Risk it. Use I can't think of the word for it. Go use the lots in order to get a higher chance of getting something. I mean that currency, or is this always?
Well, no, it's scaled. It's scaled. You essentially have to win the game you're playing.
I see.
Most of the time, in order to get something for it.
Okay.
The only real exception is bingo.
I see.
And poker, I guess. If you're not first, technically you don't win, but you get, you know, for second you still get a good payoff, and for third you get some of your money back.
Huh.
But not all. That also depends on how many people are playing in the first place. Because the minimum is 3, max is 6, and not everybody always plays a 6 room. Or a 6 table, rather.
I see.
Sometimes there's like only 5, and yeah, the payoffs change depending on how many people there are.
Okay. Just to keep it fair.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, is there any interesting stories from your times of playing that game with Tigray, or is this like being like
other than the one time where four of us went all in and Tigray was the one that won. This was a free poker table. I mean, there hasn't been much else other than than Tigray embarrassing himself at poker sometimes by doing some really, really crazy things that I would never consider. But I mean, sometimes it's justified to risk it all. Sometimes it's just not. But even when it is justified to risk it all, that doesn't necessarily mean that luck is going to be in your favor anyway.
Nope. You just got. If you, I mean, what you call, you just gotta pray and hope that you get something good.
Yeah, I've definitely gone all in with proper hands before, but then I've just gotten undercut by some garbage hand that just made a pair or some shit.
That sucks.
I've also been in the lead before. I think I had maybe had like 3 of a kind or something, and then I got undercut by a flush or something. It was really stupid. But it just happens that way.
It's like, you know, you just came in all. Gotta hope.
But yeah, speaking of that particular currency, if you earn enough of it in a month, you will also gain VIP status for the next month, which doubles, triples, or quadruples a lot of your bonuses, but not everything.
Oh, wow. Huh.
It depends on what VIP level you have. 1 is double, 2 is triple, 3 is quadruple.
Huh.
I think even for VIP 1, normally you have to get, I think something like 15,000 in a month.
I see.
Which is actually pretty hard.
Ooh.
I've gotten back in July when I was playing like almost every day, or at least I was logging on almost every day. I got past the halfway mark to VIP 1, but that was kind of it.
Oh.
And then I just got broke. So yeah, if you're broke, you can't progress. So
well,
yeah. But there is a different way to earn VIP 1. They have this calendar thing where if you log in enough, I think you have to log in for like 6 days in a month or 7, then you'll receive something that allows you VIP access for the rest of the month.
I see. Well, I can't do that.
So, yeah. So until the end of the month, from when you get it, you can earn double the bonuses, and that does help.
Huh.
But clearly it's not enough at times. I suppose it depends on what kind of games you play and how often you play them, though. I've read that it says it's supposed to be somewhat balanced, based on the time you're spending on the game, but I don't think that's entirely true.
It's fake news.
I mean, a poker game could last like 20-30 minutes, and you get like, if you get first, you probably get like 500. You could spend 20-30 minutes on some other games and just wind up broke before you even get there.
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know. It does seem kind of weird. It's definitely not unfair. It's just, it definitely feels weird because it doesn't really feel that it is that balanced. Nor do I really feel that the goal is really obtainable for the average person unless they played for several hours a day. And they had money to start off with and like never got broke. Which is pretty damn hard to do sometimes. Even if you're only playing like low to mid-range stakes. Or if you're just playing bingo or poker with buy-ins and you just keep losing. It's pretty hard to not be broke when things like that happen.
It's like, hey, you see, you can't be broke if you buy stuff for us. If you buy more chips, you'll be broke. Hey, enter your wallet.
Yep, that's the catch. That's the catch.
Well, man, so I'm curious, how much do they cost? It's like for I guess like 200. It's like $1 or 500. It's $4 to buy some chips.
That's a the lowest value I think was 10,000, and that was shit. I think it was $1,
Oh.
something.
Oh wow. Huh.
And the maximum I think was like 1,000,000, but that's like I don't remember what that was. I think that was $50.
Oh. Wow. That is. Nah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've seen mobile games with even more insane pricing than that, so
Oh.
I guess it's not the worst.
To switch for my blood. That's just, I know games have worse. They don't have worse, but that's like, oh, $3. That is, nah, too much. Sorry, Pete. Sorry, Bingo.
Well, I mean, look. Well, this is a mobile game that I've played before. Something called Hill Climb Racing. The game is very grindy. Well, let's just start with that. The game is very grindy. You have to get a lot of coins to unlock or upgrade everything, and as well as buy everything. You have to buy everything and then upgrade the car so that you can go the farthest distance, which is the goal.
I see.
And I think the top price for coins in that game is $150.
Wow.
And I think that gives you 100 million coins. I think it was 100 million. Or whatever it was. But I'm going to say that is not enough to unlock everything in the game.
Oh.
Not by far.
Wow.
Even that's not enough. Like, if you had absolutely nothing and you bought that, you probably would get pretty far, but you would definitely be way short.
Oh. Wow. That is. Man.
Yeah, and on top of that, they recently, and by recently I think like last year-ish, or no, I think it was this year, they added gems to the game just to make things even worse. And they also added special boosters, which now at the end of the stage, when you're just about to die or whatever, or you run into a hill that you can't go over normally, then you use a booster, and then you suddenly go over the hill, which ruined basically the entire meta of the game that was established for 4 years. Because the game originally came out like 2012 or something like that. So 4 or 5 years later, that's what they do to the game.
Well, they're like, hey.
And I went ahead and like got everything the hard way in that game, and for them to do that, not long after I finished, is pretty damn sad.
Yeah, that does
and
suck.
even worse, the boosters, I think you can carry 10 at a time. The first one's like, oh, it's pretty cheap, like 10 gems or something like that. But then the price keeps going up the more you buy them. And of course, they're one-time use. So, yeah.
Wow.
So now, the current meta is essentially get yourself 10 boosters and play every stage. But the problem is you're going to be spending like 65 million gems just to get anywhere. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't remember what the gem prices were, but I think the top one was 50,000 gems? I think it might have been 50,000 gems. And I think the price was just as crazy. I don't think it was 150, I think it might have been just 100.
Huh.
But yeah. Still, it's ridiculous.
Well, that kind of reminds me of a game called what was it? It was called Clicker Heroes, where it's like, you know, it's like you could play or you could, and it's like eventually you get these gems that you can use to buy extra clickers, and it's like, you know, the first one it's like 25 gems, and then as you buy one, it goes up by 25, becomes 50, then 75, then 100 gems, then it just keeps going up. It just say, oh, now you have 250 gems, you must get another clicker. It's like, wow. Say people these days,
Man.
you know, who needs you know honest gameplay? I mean, it's got gems, pay to win.
You pay to win with your time or your money. That's essentially what it is.
If I say, hey, why not both?
Why not both? Yeah, just totally waste your time for nothing other than grinding something to. Oh man. It's just really bad, actually.
Yeah.
But you know, there's the other half of it. Oh, if we had everything, then people would only spend about 6 hours on this game on average. There's probably some stupid study for the game that they did, where it's like, oh yeah, after a while we stopped playing the game. Like no shit.
Yeah, that's
But
what
then
happened.
it's like, oh yeah, if we allow this to happen, where players have to literally earn just trying to get somewhere, then they spend like 400% more time on the game. And that means 400% more ad revenue.
You see, you win.
Or whatever.
People these days. I'm pretty it's like a forum somewhere. Like, hey, you see, this is why gems are worth it for a game. It makes a game better.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. And then you like realize that you just spent your money on something completely worthless.
You see, money well spent. You know,
Oh man, you spend this much money on enjoyment when you could have bought like 3 other games instead.
Hey, see,
That might last you even longer.
You see, who needs those games? Yeah, I don't need a PS4. I got myself this game right here. But gems, all the good stuff. Say, okay, you have fun.
Honestly, the entire mobile concept is way worse than how so many people just buy a bunch of Steam games and never play them. I honestly say that the mobile scenario is just so much worse. Because it often feels like you're playing half a game until you just like get the other half, and then just like you get the other half, and it's just like I don't really care to play this game anymore, all that much, because it always feels like it just overstays its welcome by the time you actually get everything you're supposed to.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's been another game, like the game that people had called Final Fantasy, the DLC game, where it's like you had to literally buy characters to actually play the game, or wait 3 minutes to get a character.
That's mad work.
Yeah, I know. It's like, hey, wait 3 minutes or buy a character. These characters $1, and then it adds us like, oh, okay, that's cool. Nah. And people these days they're in their mobile games, like Sonic Runners, and other things. Sonic Dash was a odd little game. It was a little fun time killer, but then they added other updates and say, oh, sorry, your phone can't run anymore. Please get a new phone. Okay, I see.
Yeah, that's the other problem with mobile games. The mobile... Oh, man, when your device gets old, it just hits you all at once when everything just, like, doesn't really feel like working anymore just because your device is too old.
Say,
oh, I can't update this game anymore. Oh well.
Like, come on, phone.
It's time for you to get a new phone because apparently, you know, we need to have, like, 3-year turnarounds for new phones and stuff.
Oh, man.
Just... genuinely ridiculous.
Hey, phone, please. You've been with me for all these years. You can't just die now. What were all the times we spent playing Sonic Runners and Temple Run? And Temple Run 2.
Man, I used to play Temple Run 2 a lot, and then just like the next update, oh, you can't play this. It even downloaded the update, and then it literally said you can't play this.
Wow.
What? I was so actually pretty mad. I actually had to go and download the prior version and just go back to it just to access my damn records.
Oh, wow.
Because I wasn't gonna just like give up everything right then and there. Because otherwise I had to. Fortunately, there was a pretty easy way to do that because the save file was in a text file, actually.
Oh, huh.
So I was able to transfer that, luckily,
I can
and save my progress because I was not about to sacrifice something like 20 hours or whatever I spent on it. Just because people allowed the possibility of downloading the app without even like some kind of check to see if you could actually play it in the first place. Like, that is actually the dumbest thing I've ever heard
Yep.
or seen with my own two eyes. And it's not the only app that did it either. There were a couple others that were like, oh, you can download this. Oh wait, you can't actually play it. Never mind.
Oh man.
Literally on startup. Oh, you can't play this. Oh, that's cool. Waste my time downloading it. Yep.
Well, yeah. Or the best part is like it's like, oh, it downloads and it's like, oh, hey, it's running. Then it's like it opens up and then a few seconds later it's like, oh, crashes. Oh, okay, that's cute. Just crash.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that now with this iPod Touch. Some apps are just like so prone to crashing. It's ridiculous.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Some are fine. It's just I think it's more those specific apps than it is the phone, to be honest, or the device rather. It's not really a phone, but yeah. I honestly feel like I think it's more the apps than the device itself. But on my old tablet, I really didn't experience too many crashes actually, in general.
Huh.
I know I've tried a whole bunch of apps, so.
Let's see. Yo. I'm curious, like, how you started playing that Sonic 1 game, or did you stop playing?
That Sonic 1 game?
Yeah.
Oh, mobile? Oh
Yeah.
god. I didn't even try Sonic 1 mobile because I saw it on my tablet, and I saw there was an ad after Act 1, and I was just like, nope, I'm not playing this. That is not happening. I do not have patience to see an ad every single act I play. That is so... I don't know why they made that decision. That's one of the most horrible decisions I've ever seen in my life. You don't just break a Sonic game into acts like that and place an ad every single act. That just breaks the entire point and momentum of the game. Where's the fun in that?
Yo, guys, we need money, but here you go.
Yeah, you don't need $2, I'm sorry. I don't care if that's like one of your better ports. I honestly think the Sonic 1 and 2 ports are probably the best things that team has done. It feels like Mania's the second best thing they've done, and CD was only bad because it was the first thing they did in terms of what they fucked up.
Yep.
But arguably speaking, Mania could be worse, just because they fucked up a lot of things rather than just a little bit, apparently.
Yeah.
But it's not a fair comparison. Mania is technically a new game, and Sonic CD was a remaster, so they couldn't actually fuck up all that much on a remaster. They had no room to, essentially. But Mania, they were essentially given like this incredible free pass to suddenly just mess up a whole bunch of things, and they actually did. I don't even know whose decision it was to just like include parts of the original levels into the remade levels. But I feel like that was also kind of a very weird decision. Whoever made that particular decision kind of ruined the potential of the game, I think.
Yeah. I expect Sega. Sega probably tell them, hey, you can do this, but try to incorporate some elements from other games if you can.
Yeah, I heard it was like a Sonic team decision or something. That's what I heard. And I was like, well, there's your problem. They trusted these guys, except they didn't trust them enough, clearly. Because if they did, I think they might have actually made a bona fide game. They could have even, like, repurposed zones if they really wanted to. But I would have rather seen some, like, entirely new layouts.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to repurpose levels, I would have been fine with that. But just the fact that they included certain parts, and certain really vivid parts specifically, of the levels that I just instantly remember when I see them. I feel like that says so much about the game as a whole. It's. I have nothing against the different zones that they did make. I'm a little bit at odds with the fact that they just had to include a half Sky Chase level, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure I entirely blame them for that either. I don't know. It's one of those, I wish it didn't happen, but whatever that it did.
I guess, yeah.
Because at least it's not the entire level. So... I don't know, it just feels like they could have done so much more. Titanic Monarch was an interesting concept, but Act 2 really seems like there wasn't a lot of thought put into it. And it so happens that the current speedrun, time attack, involves you going through a specific gate and the level suddenly ends.
Wow.
Because they just, like, kind of forgot something there.
Oh boy. And they are just...
Yeah, I saw I saw what the level looked like, the whole nature of the level just being a 4 sectors of things, which... I mean, it's really not the greatest concept you can think of. I can understand why it's meant to be difficult and everything, and long, but it felt like it was meh, and it apparently wasn't really as well executed as it could have been for the specific time attack reason. But then you go ahead and go to the final boss and you reset the timer. That I have issues with.
Yeah, see.
That I actually have issues with.
It's like, oh hey, your time? Nah, it's okay. Back to 0. Enjoy.
I don't even mind like, what would have been really good is if the timer kept going, not only for that boss fight, but if you had to go to the supersonic boss fight, then the timer would be entirely hidden and garbled, like as it's seen. That would have been actually excellent.
Yeah, that would have been like
just
a nice,
a really a good surprise element where all of a sudden you time over because you actually took too much time. You know, because the level will take a couple minutes of your time out, so you'll have to kind of rush the fight in order to play it well. Like that, I would appreciate.
Yeah,
that would definitely be fine. That would have been a perfectly fine, challenging extra boss fight. Yeah, but just the thing in and of itself is just it kind of just feels like any other boss fight then.
Yeah, just like, hey, here you go, here's a boss. Enjoy. And
half of it is completely free. Like, they stripped Eggman so hard. He just has a shifting thing. Like, what is that for a final boss? What is that? Hello? Eggman doesn't even have, like, a projectile attack or anything like that. The other guy at least had an orb attack that not only hurt you or knocked you back, it hurt you and made you lose 10 rings. That's fine. That's all well and good. But then what the hell does Eggman have? Absolutely nothing.
A little toy.
Where's the thought in that? You don't just make half the extra fight free. That's not how this works.
Get a little of this.
Like, that's like a terrible reward to get the Chaos Emeralds. I mean, then again, the Chaos Emerald stages got completely gutted because there's apparently a really simple way to just catch up with the UFO, which is also pretty damn obnoxious.
I know, it's like,
but I don't know. Even the special stages are just like meh at best. It's a decent concept, but I don't know, it just really doesn't feel very fun.
I guess, yeah.
Or very challenging. It's like in that middle ground where it's not overly fun or overly challenging. So fun could be extracted from the fact that it's a challenge. It's like right in that middle ground.
I see. It's kind of yeah, it's there.
It is just there. I mean, I guess the one thing they did right with the super forms is they actually gave super tails for once, which only otherwise happened in Sonic 3 and Knuckles when you got all 14. Of course, that breaks that standard, but It would have been funny if Sonic and Knuckles got super forms, but not Tails.
Oh man, they can see it.
As it is, I've heard Tails got screwed in out of some tricks anyway. So
Damn.
Tails would have been like totally screwed.
Rip Tails.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe when this patch comes out, it might fix a lot of things. Like Knuckles, players won't be able to do a lot of tricks with Tails or Knuckles. So, no.
Yeah, but there's the whole patch dilemma when it comes to like, especially this is stuff I personally do have to consider just because of the fact that I help deal with things on a competition site. We have this patch dilemma now where it's like, do we just allow this to happen and allow people to unpatch the game? And what's going to happen with the PC version? Is it going to come patched? Is it not going to come patched?
Oh
that
boy.
Sort of thing. And it's the mess. I wish that, like, apparently from what Master Kirby said, there was meant to be a day one patch. That would have been fine, actually, because not many people would have been able to do anything with 1 day. And for the amount of people that probably would have just like not updated their console or whatever. Although I'm not even sure. I think with a day one patch, I think you just have to like I think you get forced to just update automatically or something like that. As soon as you get the game, probably. I imagine that's how it would work. So I don't know.
Oh man,
I can't say I've experienced that for myself, so I can't really say.
Oh man.
But yeah, this game is clearly a mess. I don't know how they managed to delay the game this much and have it released like this. That's a little bit of an honest bummer.
Yeah, that is.
It's entirely something else if the game was released when it was meant to, which is back in spring, and it was released like this. I wouldn't have exactly minded as much, because it's like, okay, the game didn't get delayed. It actually got released like this instead. But, and maybe a delay would have helped. At least then people would have had hope that, oh, if the game was delayed, then it instantly would have been this much better. Rather than this situation where the game's delayed and it still came out a mess.
Yep.
And, yeah, it just kind of leaves a bad impression.
Yeah, I feel a little misspelled. It's like, hearing all these things happening about Silent Man, all these buzz, like, wow, just kind of disheartening.
It's not even just bugs. Some of them are just poor decisions, like the stuff Master Kirby did in Press Garden. That was just poor decision making. You never, ever put respawnable enemies in a game like this. You never do that.
Nope.
And especially with the way they made combos, like, that is also broken. Somehow more broken than the main 3 classic games were, which is incredible, because it's just incredible to me. Like, you make a modern era classic game, and you manage to fuck up something worse than the originals did. I don't even know how you do that. I honestly don't know how you do that. It's almost in the same tier as fucking up the timer. The timer is one of the most basic things about a game, and you just decide to entirely fuck that up and release a game like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that's a big no-no.
That's like Capcom level of bad. Say, hey.
Yeah, it's
be bad.
And yet everybody praises this team for making good games, and like, oh, I was skeptical from the beginning because all they did was remasters up until that point. Yep. And the CD remaster was a bit of a flop because they managed to screw up the one thing that would matter to people, the timer, for people that wanted to compete. And the competition in Mania very clearly proves that if this didn't happen in CD would have had a lot of love. I honestly think that that's exactly what would have happened with CD, even despite the fact that it's a remaster, therefore it can't get as much sales.
Yep.
And then I see I've seen things with Sonic 1 and 2 remasters. One of them got to version 2, and the other one got to version 3. So there have been multiple updates. Probably a lot, too. Even Sonic CD, I think, got to a version 3 on mobile. But they left every other version behind. Completely.
Wow.
I don't even think they patched it once.
Wow. That is...
Yeah. And of course you get away with the whole concept on mobile because you don't really get to feel the updates all that much. Some of them tend to be very small downloads and then you just don't notice them and whatever. And also with the fact that the nature of mobile games is just filled with updates because that's the whole idea. So then you just proceed to ignore that there are actually serious problems with the team, you know, just not making the games as they should. And yeah, and then you come to a game like this. This is their first opportunity, and they're doing pretty much the same things they did with the remasters. Probably even worse in some aspects.
Wow. Come on, Sonic Mania team.
I wouldn't have had nearly as much beef with Sonic Mania as, like, if this team didn't make it, I don't know if Sonic Mania would have been better or worse. I really wouldn't know. But I do think that some of these mistakes definitely would not be happening. Definitely would not be happening.
Yeah, probably.
Some of the only things they did right were actually giving time attack to all characters, which they didn't even do in the Sonic 1 and 2 remasters as well. They just had it for Sonic, I believe, even there. So that's literally the first time they did that correctly.
I see.
Yeah.
God damn it. This hand. And there we go. Man, hate this boss. I hate that boss. That boss is garbage.
Yeah. I don't think anybody likes that boss. I don't even think the hand likes itself as a boss. It's probably that bad.
Poor hand. It's like I think I has to be made. I was born this way. I was made into a hand. Stop! What are you doing? No. Wow, that boss went well. I win.
Yeah, sometimes that just goes really well.
You know, every time I say, hey, all the platforms, man, they don't spin and have spikes on. Say, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, boss. You're funny.
Yeah, especially in that half form. If it goes really well, it's just becomes cake. And usually I just want it to become cake, but it's not always like that.
So you gotta get lucky. I'm curious, is there...
Oh man.
Oh, good.
Go ahead.
Cause is there any tips for this for the frog-like boss? Like, is there any way to get like a quick kill on? Because I've seen you done before. I think like you managed to get like a fast kill on that frog-like boss, which he's annoying too.
You kind of need to position yourself in such a way that you're in the hitbox and rolling, kind of like the first boss-ish. But you also kind of need to initiate jumps because you don't get the roll off for the whole time. Eventually, you just get hit. So there is that problem.
Oh man. God damn it. Oh boy. And my favorite boss, the Sign 2 Death A, where I choke at this boss.
Dang.
Something about him. It's like, oh hey, you got good time? Time choke.
Dang, it was all because of that one hit too.
Oh yeah, it was funny. It's like in my last run, I managed to kill him and die at the same time.
Oh my god.
Wait, so I died on the inside. I was like,
That sounds so stupid. Oh my god.
he's like, oh hey, I'm dead, but you died too, so game over. It's like, oh
Oh
my.
my goodness.
I was like, I want to smash the controller. Hey, new PB by 2 minutes.
Oh man.
I'm done
I
with this
think now
game.
you've surpassed. I'm pretty sure now you've surpassed mine. I need to double